Hi, my muddy people. Welcome back. I'm Nat at Mud Magic. Thank you for joining me for a bit of an impromptu, well, a very impromptu video. So I was just watching YouTube and Cindy at Cozy Mountain Pottery. She's brand new to YouTube. She's only got a couple of videos out. She's fabulous. I actually meant to mention her in my last kiln unload and completely forgot. So sorry, Cindy. This video goes out to you, girl, because she's motivated me. So for ages and ages, I have wanted to do a video on my favorite tools, and I've never got round to it because it just seemed like so much effort. So I went and grabbed some tools. Well, I have 3 piles of tools, so this might take a while. So Cindy put a video out asking what are our favorite tools. So I thought, I'll just show my favorites, but my favorites kept growing and growing and growing. So there will also be a few little tips in here. You don't have to buy the most expensive tools out on the market, but some of the expensive tools are definitely worth the money. So the first thing up, just because it's in my way, Cindy said she has a Giffen grip already, but my Giffen grip, as you can hear, it's got all dry clay in it. I love it. I do not trim without it ever. Never, ever, ever. You can, and I have got feet, like when you do this, when you go in and out with this, they go together, but you can get feet that are where you can do one, that do them separately. So if you've got something odd shaped, you can center it yourself. I've never used them. I've never had a problem with this. Even with my wonky rims and stuff, I can always just work it out. But oh, I love it. It is such a game changer. Also, too, Cindy, you were talking about hoping to throw large. If and when you do, you can bring this right out, and if your pots, as mine often are too big, you can go right out. I won't be able to get it to do it now, but trust me, you can go right out to the edge, which it's not wanting to do. It can be a bit fiddly. There we go. And you can take them out, turn them around and put them that way. Then when you bring them in, you can put your pot, bring them right in, put your big pot, if it comes right out to the edge, upside down, and then you can't see them, but you can feel when it catches. You just go like that and it'll catch on the inside and it'll still hold it, so you can still trim it. And I just lost one on the floor, but I'll find that. So I have a basket next to me so that I can put stuff in as I go. But what I wanted to show you as well, most of the stuff's little, but this is starting with the bulky stuff. So with the Giffen grip, I always had a problem where all the shavings would fly off on the floor, and it annoyed me. So I saw somewhere a tip where if you buy one of these beach buckets, cut the floor out of it, cut it down the side, and you can put it inside your wheel tray. I have a Venco wheel, which I couldn't bring out here to show you, haha. But I love, if you're an Aussie, get a Venco wheel because it's like teardrop shaped, so you can put your throwing bucket inside your tray, which is awesome. That goes around your wheel with the opening next to you so that you can get your hands in there and still trim. And they've left the handles on, doesn't matter, whatever. And it catches all the thing, and then I just put across here on my lap a tea towel just to catch anything from the front there. So that works really, really amazingly well. So I don't have any particular order, so I'll just go for it. So get rid of all that. So first of all, I'll just start here, I guess. I recently got from Snap Printing, but I'm sure you can get them overseas as well. A Mud Magic, I just designed it myself, stamp, and called a potter's pad. So that's underglaze. So you can just do that and stamp the bottom of your pieces before you glaze fire them. And then, because it's underglaze, it doesn't stick to your shelf. And then you've got your name on there, so I love that. Rollers, Jane printed these for me. This one's from Temu. Temu's your huge tip. Oh, it's so cheap. I know there's a lot of people against Temu, but I love it. I buy so much stuff when they've actually got an order on its way. any kind of rolling texture you can use on slabs is the easiest. You can put a tube inside. If you're throwing a mug on the wheel, put a tube inside and then roll her around and kind of hold the tube to support it, and that does work as well. I've done that as well. So thank you, Jane, for those. She has a 3D printer, so she printed a lot of them for me. And then this little tool is pretty new to me. Jane told me about this as well. So it cuts your, so if you're doing a hand-built mugs, you do the slab and then you run that along and then you turn it over and run it along. And when you circle it into a mug, it bevels the edges together really nicely. Just anything that makes my life easier, I'm going to get. So that definitely does. And then I want to talk about fan brushes. So I have never used cheap fan brushes. So, oh, well, I do actually. I've got a couple upstairs, but they're really thin and horrible. But apparently you can get nice fluffy ones. But I've only just started using the Mako ones because CCG don't sell the Amico ones. So you can see how old they are. And they still work brilliantly. Once you put glaze on, they fluff back up. They're just dry. So that's the 6 and the 4, I believe, yeah. Size 6 and size 4. So that's what I've always had. So I've been using the exact same brushes for about 3 or 4 years and 5 years. And they are exact same ones. I haven't replaced them and they're still amazing. But I've just got these Mako ones. Now, they're brilliant as well and I really love them. But they're very, very, very fluffy. So they hold a lot of glaze, which people like and is a good thing. But it wastes a lot of glaze when you're finished and you're trying to scrape the glaze back off. I find these easier to scrape the glaze back off. But other than that, I would pick these over the Amico ones. They are beautiful. They're both beautiful. So I think it's worth the money for those. Then these ribs, so I've got this, I don't know where I put the other ones. See, I'm not going to be in order because I've jumbled everything. For hand building, for compressing your slabs, that's what I use that for. It's the only thing I use a rubber rib for. I'm not a rubber rib girl. Don't judge me, but I'm not. I love metal ribs and I have brought one out and that's what I'm saying. I don't know where it is, but I'll come across it. So back to texture, you can also get rolling pins. I got this one on Temu. I brought it out to show because it's my favourite one. I have got heaps of them, really, really cheap on Temu. Obviously for texture, my advice when you go onto Temu, zoom in. Usually they have a photo of the actual rolling pin. So I zoomed in on the photo and I could see that it was cut really deep because I've made the mistake of buying ones that are really shallow and they don't imprint. Well, they do, but then by the time you glaze them, the glaze covers up the texture. So just be aware of that. And then I also got on Temu, you can get all these, like that's a fairy on a mushroom. All these kind of silicone molds, you can press clay into and put them on mugs or make magnets out of them, whatever. You can get wooden ones. So that leads me into saying I used to use flour, cornstarch, whatever, in these sorts of molds and stuff. But I have found that cooking spray, just good old canola oil or any cooking spray you have in your kitchen, works heaps better. Doesn't leave the residue, burns off obviously in the kiln, pretty quick, so it's never a problem. It doesn't work like a resist because it burns off so easy. It burns off a bit. These for keeping the rim round on your mugs are brilliant if you're hand building mugs. Even if you're wheel throwing, again, if you're going to roll a texture, you can re-round your rim, pushing that in and sort of spinning it around. So that's great too. I love transfers. As you know, I use a lot of transfers. So I definitely recommend them for ease. Like you just put them on and then all you got to do is put clear over or a Celadon because Celadons will show. So they're new ones to me. I haven't even put them away yet. So I thought I'd show you. These just came out of bisque. Oh, I think I'm going to keep. I did too. I don't have any of my little wine cups yet for myself. So I think they're going to be mine, but don't fall in love with a piece until it's finished, I know. And then you can also get white transfers and put them on black clay. So again, this is just out of bisque, so that will have some form of colour on the rim and then clear over the transfers. So cutters are awesome too. So there's a couple of different styles of cutters. Oh, that's that same rolling pin. I just put that texture in a little trinket dish, so I just thought I'd show you that. So cutters, again, these are from Temu. So I got the front of the bunny and the back of the bunny. I think they came together. So I put one on the front of the mug and one on the back of the mug. So the best thing to use with these is, what do you call it? Food wrap. We call it Glad wrap, plastic wrap. Saran wrap, I don't know, whatever you call plastic food wrap. Put it over first and then push it in, because you've got these tiny little holes like the hole for his eye. If you do that straight on clay, when you lift it up, the clay's going to stay in there and it's going to pull and tear and be horrible. But if you put plastic wrap first, works brilliantly. So they're from Temu. Now the thing so that's an all-in-one. You've got the decoration and the cutter all in one. I much prefer the two cutter. So a lot of these are actually called cookie cutters. If you search cookie cutters on Temu, there's thousands of them, and again, they're so cheap. And they come in packs. Like this was a packet of all animals, a little koala, there was a kangaroo, there was birds, there was all sorts of things in the one pack. So I much prefer the two-piece. So you've got the stamp for the texture, and then you've got the cutter. So I will put the stamp, put the cutter around it, and then cut it. And then it just, I don't know, I just find that it comes out easier. You can stamp it with the Glad wrap and then line up the cutter without the Glad wrap and cut it if you want to. And then Jane printed me these on, again, separate on her 3D printer. So they are gorgeous. Now, I've been wanting to talk about these for a while too, and I keep forgetting. Jeanette at Far Forest makes her own cone holders, and I used to cone packs out of clay. And I had seen these for ages, but I was like, oh, when you look at the description, it says single use only. So I thought, oh, too expensive for single use. Well, it's a bit chipped from the 5 because the 5 goes right down and sticks on it. But I've been using them for probably about 3 years, the same ones, and they're brilliant. You can just pull the cones straight out. Some people kiln wash them. I don't worry. And I usually only use 2 cones. So because that one's a bit yuck now, I'll just use these 2 holes. I usually only do 6 and 7 at the moment. I used to do 5 and 6, but going a bit hotter these days. So sandpaper. Don't need to go crazy with expensive diamond core sandpaper. It is amazing, but it's $100 for a tiny little square. It's really expensive. This is sandpaper I just got from the hardware store. So that's 120 grit. I definitely recommend for fine sanding. And then I've also got 80 grit. So this is how it comes. It's for a belt sander. So yeah, I just cut it up. So that's the 80 grit's a lot coarser. So if you need to get off burrs and real rough areas, it's really great for that. But the good thing about this one is that it's on material. It's not on paper. It's on like canvas or something. So you can wet sand with it, which is really, really great. But I also have this paper sanding sheets in 120 grit, 120 grit, 120 grit, which is just on paper. So I cut the sheets up, but because it's just on paper, it's a lot more flexible. The other one is quite stiff. So for doing rims around mugs and stuff, it's much better, but it wears out heaps quicker because it's only on paper, and you can wet sand with it, but it just dies. Now, safety first. I had a lot of trouble with safety goggles, so I tried a few different brands, ones that claimed not to fog up. I found they all fogged up. So I found this attractive thing. I think it was in it like a car shop that, you know, sells all car products and stuff, an auto shop. And it's amazing because I wear a mask under it as well. It just protects your eyes, but it doesn't fog up. So I just love that. I'm not putting it on. Again, when you're on Temu, placemats, we all use placemats. I'm showing that one because I've just used it. So there will be a bowl coming out with that texture on it shortly. I haven't even bisted it yet, but so there's heaps of those on Temu. They're great for texture. These I've only recently discovered on Temu, which are called kiln mats, and I thought I'll give them a go. I didn't think they would work. Oh, they're amazing. So you can get that kiln paper expensively elsewhere, but it's the same. So this really cheap on Temu. You get a pack of like 50 for $5 or something. Really cheap, and it works really well. It is only single use. It pretty much dissolves, but it saves your shelves. It's amazing. It's almost like having advanced shelves. And the reason I use them sometimes is because my pieces are too tall for my raised cookies. So if I use that, it saves some height. So I definitely recommend those. Then these as well I love. So if you want to glaze the bottom of a piece, like sometimes I hand paint my mugs and I hand paint the bottom if I've got texture on the bottom, and then I want to clear glaze it so you can't put it on your shelf. They're amazing. They just pop off after. I've got the little single stand cones now, but I haven't tried them yet, so I can't comment on those yet. Roller texture, these as well. How many I've got. So they're all just from Temu. Different textures, but you can also get stamps. Oh, they're sandbow, so you can get them on. Some of them are sandbow, some of them are just, you know, I even had this, it's broken now, but a little daisy at home, and I just used that. You can just use anything for texture. Little doggy paw prints. Oh, I've got heaps of them, so I love them. They're great. Then, so I want to talk about GR Pottery forms. Thank you, Marianne. I keep on saying thank you, Marianne. She sent me my very first ever GR Pottery forms form, and I love it. I've done a few trays. There's another tray coming through with bees on it. They're great. So you just get a bit of foam, which I have right here, just out of coincidence. So I just got a bit of foam. Roll your slab, put your slab on there, put that in, then push and roller it, and then I flip the whole thing over like that, and then the clay stays on there, and you just dry it on there. It's it can still crack like anything else, so you just get it to leather hard, then flip it off. Great, love it. However, what I wanted to say was, much as I love it, and I'm very grateful, and I've actually now ordered the heart set as well, so I am still going to get them. You don't have to if you don't have the money. I got this in what is called Kmart here, which is, can't remember what your big store is anyway. The big convenience stores that sell everything like clothes and kitchenware and everything. This cost me, I think it was like $8, which for us is really, really cheap. It's just in the kitchenware section, so I just makes a beautiful tray. Or sometimes I put it up on a pot, you know, like a gardening pot, terracotta pot, and then you can make a bowl and it will ripple in these ripples as well. So yeah, you don't have to. And along that vein, and because they're pretty bowls, I stole these out of my kitchen. They're my favourite too to use. So I just I don't have any round moulds, although I have just ordered from Temu because I couldn't get the GR Pottery Forms one, the round moulds, because you can differ the height and stuff. But these are amazing. So I just slab roll on my texture, stick them in here, and they're brilliant. And because I put them on the inside, they don't crack because it shrinks inwards. If you put it on the outside, then you risk more cracking. So I like, if I can, to put stuff inside a mould like that. Now, this, oh, I love this so much. They call these harps. This is I'm pretty sure this is Amico brand. It's filthy because I just never stop using it. I use it for hand building. I use it for my wheel throwing, for everything I use it. So it's really, 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 really stiff. I have cut my ankle on it one time when it was on the floor, so be careful. And you can just cut really straight, leaves the top straight, so you can do handles if you're making mugs, whatever. Love it, game changer. I use it every single day. I use it. These are brilliant. Can't remember where I saw these years ago, but they're just shower caps, so they're elastic. You can buy them really, really cheap. Probably Temu, like packs of 100. But my husband used to travel a lot, so whenever he would go to a hotel room, he would grab me the, I'd just say to him, oh, grab me the shower caps. So he would grab me the shower caps and bring them home. But to put them over, like if you've just got this mug without the handle and it's drying and it's dried too much and you haven't got time to do the handle, or you made the handle, you've trimmed it, you don't want to dry anymore, I just stick that over like that. And it just keeps it from getting too dry while I'm waiting for the handles, or while I'm trimming another 30 mugs or whatever. So they are amazing. I have hundreds of those. Chamois. Now, Cindy, I did comment on your previous video about chamois. Get a chamois. So this is just a car chamois. It's a leather one. I stole it from my husband. And I cut it into a circle. So I put that under my bats. So that's for my bat pins. Put it under my bat, and then put the bat on top, and it just holds it nicely. But I also cut it up into these little pieces, and they are amazing to put over your the top of bowls or whatever, or mugs, the rim, because Cindy was talking about how her rims can be quite rough. If you use a chamois and finish it off with the chamois, brilliant. So talking about bats, I did bring my bats out as well. So I have a top bat system. So you can get bat systems. I think this is an Australian company, but you know, everyone's seen the bat systems. So Hartley and Noble in the UK do one that will fit over a wheel that doesn't have bat pins. So this piece has a bit that sticks down and holds onto the wheel. I used to have that. Now I have bat pins. Oh, if you haven't got a wheel yet, get bat pins. So it just goes on your wheel. And then you've got the big piece. Well, you know, you can throw it with just bats, but if you're throwing smaller, so you've got that size that will slot in there, which is for like bowls and things. But then if you're throwing mugs and you're limited in space like I am, you can put this little adapter in like that, and then you can use these little tiny little ones for mugs, which is I use all the time. I use both sizes. But you can see the difference when you're limited in size, in space, like I am. Game changer, being able to, I can fit so much more on my very limited shelf space. This is another amazing thing. This is diamond core. Trace has one, I think she got it on Amazon, and she swears by it as well. It's not diamond core, but mine is diamond core. Love it. It's just a sanding pad. I'm sorry, I don't know the grit because it comes with a sticky back. Oh yes, I do. I got the coarsest one because I figured if I need to grind it on the wheel, I'm getting the coarsest one that I can. Comes with a sticky back. You peel the paper off and you stick it on your own bat. So that's one of my bats that I already had, and I just stuck it on there. It's never even lifted even the tiniest bit, and I've used it for about 3 years constantly. I use it all the time. Brilliant for sale, and so worth the money. Expensive, but really worth the money because it's never even looked like going blunt. Touch wood. Vinegar. Get rid of slip out of your studio. Slip is a pain in the bum. The only thing I use slip for is slip casting. When I'm putting on handles, when I'm putting on attachments, when I'm putting on anything, I use vinegar. So people say scratch and slip, I scratch and vinegar. It's absolutely amazing. So definitely I recommend change to vinegar. It's much cleaner, it's much better, works better. Slip is such a mess to clean up, and yuck. This little set, if you want to do the frozen pond technique, you need those to do the dots of the running hot chowder. Sponge on a stick. So many people make their own. I'm lazy, So I bought a sponge on a stick, which comes with replacement sponge heads. Great if you're doing tall, thin mugs and you can't get your hand in to get the water out of the bottom. Great for that. These are just what we call paddle pop sticks, ice cream sticks, whatever. I've had them again for about 3 or 4 years. These little like plywood, I use them all the time. Every time I'm glazing, I stir my glaze up with them, wash them and put them straight out to dry. I don't leave them in water or they wouldn't have survived. They're not even splitting. I don't even know how that's possible. Just cheap. I don't even know where I got them from, but they were just cheap, probably Temu. These are great from the chemist. So if you're wanting to do the peacock technique, you do your W's of light flux, and then I pull up my stroking coats or whatever, and then as you go around, you just slightly push it down, dot around, and then I've got like 5 of them. So I load them with all the colours and do that. So they're brilliant. Shrink ruler. If you're wanting to make something to a certain size, you can measure your finished creation, like if you want to match a bowl, and then you can work out your shrink rate on those, which is great because I can't do maths. So I was telling you about these two, Cindy. So that is a Mud Tools white finishing sponge. Again, really great if you're having problems with grogginess. They're like magic, the white one, only the white one. Like the others are great too, but for what you were talking about, the white one pushes the grog back into the, I don't know how it does it, it's magic, but it pushes the clay, the grog back into the clay. You just use it for finishing. It's great, love it. These just from our supermarket, which are meant for food, like frozen corn and stuff for the bags. It comes in different sizes, but the big ones are on my bags at the moment. Just to keep your bag, just to clip your bag shut, and it keeps them from drying out. Bags of clay, I mean, keeps them from drying out. They're awesome. Then, sponges. So I got sick to death of replacing the yellow sponges. They just go so fast. So Jane told me about these, which you can get from Aldi. And I think Aldi's worldwide, isn't it? I don't know. Supermarket anyway. And I just cut them up like this, and I round the corners because I was finding when you're throwing around things like mugs, the square corner was annoying. So I just round them. They're brilliant. They last longer. They're cheap as cheap. I don't know. That probably only cost me like $2 for 4, and I cut it into 4. So that's like, I don't know how many. Too many. Lots. I told you I can't do maths. Dayla Designs for cutting. I use that for cutting the handles on mugs. So she's made them backwards so that when you've got your handle, you can just cut it and it's the right way round. If you try and use a cutter where it's on the inside, you can't, because you've got to cut, it'll cut your handle as well, if that makes sense. Anyway, they're great, Dayla Designs. So I paid a fortune for that because freight from America and US dollars, insane. Big rib, I said I don't use rubber ribs. Well, I don't class these as rubber because they're the black ones and they're I think they're the firmest. They're really, 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 really hard. So I use them for my flop bowls and for my V bowls. So I pull a really tall cylinder, put that in and push it out with my hand on the outside. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I've got a smaller one. I haven't tried that yet. That's new to me. This is great too, Zium tools, just for scratching and scoring. I just love it. Someone else told me about it in a class I did, and I love that. These are great for mixing up, just from the kitchen, mixing up glaze, powdered glaze and stuff. Right, knives. Spend money on knives. Good quality, especially if you're like me and you like carving. So that's Zium. Oh, they both are. Knife. I've had that knife since 5 years and it's still sharp and beautiful. This is new to me. Oh my goodness, it's dangerous. It's like a scalpel. I have had scalpels before, but the blades always break. Oh, that glides through. So I use this for doing the swirl chip and dips, which I've just made some today. So to cut down the wall so that you can then do the little dip bit inside the swirl bowls. I use that for them. It's so sharp, It's great. It's Zeum as well. I think it's like that titanium or whatever they call it. They're really great stuff. I just realised I've got to pack all these tools away. Cindy, you should come over and do it for me. Metal straw for bubble glazing. Love my bubble glazing. Right. Oh, there's my other rib. So that's my favourite rib. I always use the rounded side. I never use the flat side. I just like it. You can bend it. So if you're doing a bowl and you're finishing, you can bend it while you're shaping and it will shape your bowl beautifully. And you can hold it where your belly is while it goes round, and then you're getting the same belly the whole way around the form. You're not using your fingers and going in and out and in and out. Love my metal ribs. You will cut yourself in the beginning when you start using them, but you'll love it. In the end, you'll love it. You just have to put up with cutting yourself a few times. Like, touch wood, I haven't cut myself in years. Needle tools, expensive one, cheap one. Expensive one, you probably can't even see. The tip has bent over on me, the very, very, very tip. Cheap one, still fine. No bend, perfect. So you don't need to spend money on expensive needle tools. The cheap ones will do the job. Right, handle tools. I love, you're talking about game changers and saving you time and tools to save you time. People will lecture you and say, you should know how to pull handles, and disclaimer, I know how to pull handles. Every time I talk about these, I get comment after comment, learn how to pull handles. I know how to pull handles. I'm more than capable of pulling handles. I just don't like it. It takes too long. It's boring. It's annoying. I just would rather get a slab of clay, go shoom, and it's done. So I just brought out my favourites, but I have got heap loads. I think I've got almost every diamond core handle tool that there is. So these are my favourites. That's just like the thumb inwood one. I call it the cloud. That's three-way one, this one. I use that to cut the strips and plait as well. This is not diamond core. You can get these anywhere. It's a CCG brand one. So see how fat it is. So I pull the handle and then I rolling pin it long, or I'll roll texture into it that thins it. But I'll also roll it wide and do my wide handles with it. Or again, I'll cut it into three and plait it. And because you've rolling pinned it, they're flat strips instead of round, and it looks really good. I love that. And this one I love as well. Again, it's just a CCG, I think, brand. You can get them anywhere. So I will pull those and then I'll roll them out thinner, lift it up from the middle, and then like twist. Oh, how fun is that? That is done with this. So, and then you can see where I've folded it in half, and that's the bit I attach there. And then sometimes I'll split that out to two. Yeah, so there you go. That's what I do with that. Or you can also do like your D handles if you just want a round D handle. That looks good too. Now, my favourite, oh, it's heavy. So I've shown you guys before. My angle grinder. I love my angle grinder. It's like my back. Look at my face. It makes me so happy. So I got a diamond blade. You have to get a diamond disc. It was only like $20. I was really surprised at the hardware store for the disc. My husband owns an angle grinder. Don't think he's even noticed years later. That's how little he ever used it. Oh, I love it. So if you get things stuck on cookies, because with it, I've got a Dremel as well, and I like my Dremel, but I love this because the Dremel's disc the same shape as this. It's tiny. It's about this big. So you can't get in far enough if it's stuck on a cookie. This, you can get all this sort of whole way in, under, and then go right around, and it pops off. But it's also good if you've had it on a raised cookie and you've got drips, you can angle grind just the drips off first before you put it on your wheel and use that disc, because then it's not going to blunt your disc. I just use that first and then finish it with the disc. So, oh my goodness, that's another knife. So that's my tools. That's a great knife too. It's double-sided. I use that all the time. I use that actually for cleaning up my ducks the most, because they're slip cast for getting the egg in. Bat lifter, game changer as well. I was having trouble getting my bats off, and then someone told me about bat lifter. Love it. Trimming tools. These are my favourite trimming tools. This one I use all the time. Every time I throw, I use that for getting the skirt off the bottom, and then like angle it to cut like an angle along around the bottom. So that's more a throwing tool. And then these are all my trimming tools. So I use that on the foot to flatten it first. Then I'll go down the edge with that one. Oh, that is easily my favourite. It is Zion. You can get small, medium, I think large. I think that's the medium. Oh, invest in that. I've got another one as a backup one. But I've had this for 5 years as well, and it's never gone blunt yet. It's starting to, so I think I'll get the other one out soon, but I use it every single time I trim. And then this one I use to make the foot in the mugs. So I'll cut down the circle and then bring out the clay from the middle of the bottom of the mugs. This one, I've got two because they are double-ended, but both ends broke off, but the opposite ends, so they used to be like that. It broke off. So this one's great for the same, for just trimming inside. If you're putting a little foot on a mug, it's great for little delicate work like that. This one is great when I do those mugs and I do lines in them, and I just have it upside down when I'm trimming. I'll just hold it to do the lines. So I love that as well. Getting there. This rib is great if you're doing big platters, chip and dips and stuff, because it's dead straight. If you've got a little lumpy bottom, you can just hold it and it will just smooth out the bottom of plates and things. So I use that a fair bit. Now this is a random thing to show you, but it's been the bane of my existence. I love my scales. Thank you, Jane. She told me about her. She has the same. So I got these all the way from Germany. They took forever to turn up, but they're the best thing ever because I was using electronic scales just from the kitchen shop, and they kept dying all the time with the dust. I now know the clay dust getting into them. So if you're having problems with the old, well, the new, or digital scales dying on you all the time, get the old style. They're great. I love them. So they just always sit out on my table. I never put them away. I've never had to readjust the weight on them. They've stayed brilliant. So I think that's it. I am sure I have forgotten a billion tools because I have so many more tools. But Cindy, I hope that helped you out. I will put a link to Cindy in the comments. So please go like and subscribe to Cindy. I know we're all pushing new potters at the moment, and so I have been thinking about doing it myself too. I'm mentioning, a new potter each time now. I keep forgetting, I'm just hopeless. So Cindy at Cozy Mountain Pottery, and it's cozy with a Z because you Americans spell things weird. We spell it with an S. But it's cozy with a Z, Mountain Pottery. She's fabulous. She's so easy to watch, and she just comes across as so friendly and lovely. So give her a watch, give her a like, and thank you for the inspiration, Cindy. I now have to go and pack all this up. I even ran down here and said to my husband, "You're going to have to wait for your dinner